Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Streamer Day number 3853. What on earth am I reading? Okay. I've never known someone online to lie before. That's new. I'm kidding. What a ridiculous thing that is. How you doing, Fit? Hopefully you're doing well today. Uh, and today the plan is to finish Nemesis Winds of Time. Got one more wool to gather. Here we are again. Doing good. I'm pleased to hear that, my friend. You know, I did have some plans here. I was like, oh, I'm going to build a base and stuff like that, you know? And I'm going to really enjoy living here. And before you know where we were at, it's over. We're already at the final dungeon. There was no point in doing that. I think I was prepared. I think I gathered everything last time, so we're just going to go straight for it, I guess. Intersection 5. There was a book here, wasn't there? Oh yeah, we read this. Aha, yeah, I made a ladder here. That was right. Doing good, I'm pleased to hear that. I'm going to make a few more torches while I have the chance. So we already explored this a little bit. I don't know how a skeleton's managed to spawn in there. Huh. It's right next to the glowstone. Okay. Oh boy. We got some problems right around here. We're gonna have to try and take out these guys, I guess. Supercharged creeper. Not good. There must be a way that these guys can get up. The problem I'm gonna have is I'm pretty sure if I go down here, I gotta like get this stuff before things respawn, because it looks like it's close to max spawn situation. That's the path to where we need to go. I'm gonna leave that area dark because there's no reason for me to light that up really. What the heck is that? Okay, we've got a custom mob here that's in diamond armor. There's a wither skeleton as well. I died. I don't really have a good way up here, do I now? I think it was this. Oops. Let me build a proper way out. In case I need to like really hard back up or anything. So yeah, I don't know where that spawner was at. That's a spider spawner, so it must have spawned in from somewhere else. Is it in this? No. I don't know where that thing spawned. Oh, right there. That was a creeper, though, I think. That's what it looked like. We got there in the end. I should be careful around here. I don't want to get snuck up on. I'll make my way along here. Oh, go away. Blazes. Riding. Oh, those guys riding blazes. They're like archer guys. I don't know what kind of health they've got. Oh, great. I mean, at least the blaze doesn't have too much health, but I don't know what I'm going to do about that. How many arrows? We got some serious problems. This is a power 5 bow as well. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's deal with that guy. Put these fires out. He's dead. There's a creeper up there as well. I want to get rid of them. And that's possibly that spider, but... Okay, so we've got rows and rows of spawners here now. And... Oh. Okay. That'll be where all those creepers were coming from. Get rid of that. Alright. I want to try and decide how to deal with this for the best. Dang it, man. There's that guy. I want to get rid of the strong enemies, if I can. Okay, I didn't really want to get rid of the creeper, but he could shoot me from there. That's supercharged creepers and possibly something else. I don't know how thick this bridge is, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Spiders. And then archers riding on the blazes again. Lots of nightmares here. I've only got 41 arrows left. Which could be a problem. I can't really make a mad dash here either because it's not going to work. That's just... It does a lot of damage. Damn. What's in here? Diamond block. An infinity bow. Power 4 infinity. Okay. I might need that. I might need to add that to my bow. Possibly. I'm going to take these just in case it somehow matters. I don't know if it will or not. This is mushroom field, so it's only going to be spawner stuff here. Alright, so... One thing at a time. I don't think shulker boxes can burn up. I don't think so. Just need to lure this thing away, really. I really don't want that thing blowing up. Fire behind me. Put that out. All of this just to get to the castle entrance. Aghast. Oh, that was probably, bring a gas to the overworld and kill it. Okay, I'm not even, like, remotely hitting it. Just got rid of that. There's still one archer left. Just 2 spawners left at the end. More arrows. I need these arrows. I do need those arrows. We might not need arrows as much inside because it's going to be closer combat. Okay, that's just a supercharged creeper and a spider. So we can get rid of them. Okay. Oh, text! From that, it's just that same person from the other place. Oh, I got a wither skeleton skull. I need those arrows. Oh boy. Oh, this isn't good, man. Bats everywhere. I gotta be careful how close I get, because I, There we go. Oh boy. Gas again. I don't know if they've got punch, so I'm gonna do that. I gotta be... No. I want to get knocked through there. I don't have that much health. Okay, that guy fell into the void. That's fine. Oh, I got more. Dang it. Oh, it's blazes, so lighting doesn't matter. No, can't. I've just got to try and thin the numbers. to get rid. That's fine. Oh. No! Damn it! Oh. Too greedy. Too greedy. Ah, dang it, dang it, dang it. I got too greedy. I was trying to rush it. Stupid. Those spiders do a lot of damage. I just got too greedy. I was trying to rush it. There was no reason to do that. I could have taken it slow. Man, that's annoying. Just gave them that. I didn't really need to do that. Oh yeah, run into the fire. That would be really good for me. It wasn't even that dangerous there. All I had to do, I'd got it blocked off and everything, was just back off and pick them out. I couldn't do that. In fact, even all the spawners had gone. Look at that. I even got rid of them all. That frustrates me. I really don't like dying in maps like this, because I know better. And that was just silly. There was no reason to do that. Wasn't overwhelmed or anything. But that's the first time I would say the map's actually got me, because the other time was just a creeper dive bombing me. Oh boy. Why is there like a slab or something? Why can't these ghasts see me? Why aren't they shooting at me? I've got to watch these spiders because they do a lot of damage. That spawned on the other side of the wall. Diamond helmet. Oh, now they can see me. What's this? Abyssal shield. Is that better than what I have? 10% attack speed. Not safe to be here. There is spawners from somewhere. I'm just gonna grab it. I don't know if it's better than what I have or not. Honestly, I don't really know. No, it's not. I don't know if there's much point killing those. Okay, it's gotten very, very busy in there. What was I even hit by? Couldn't help that there's friggin' fires everywhere. Need to heal. Wither. I don't need wither right now. Alright, we got rid of something at least. Is that them spiders again? That's where they're coming from. Okay, I got rid of all the spawners there, but there's stuff on the floor above, and it's coming down to us. So, not good. Just gonna try and keep taking care of things. I can see the stuff spawning in up there. I'm not going up that staircase, you can forget it. I brought ladders. The spiders can't get me here. Well, they can, but because they've got wonky hitboxes, but blazes and that certainly can. So I've got to be aware of that. Gotta be careful here. I don't want to get in range. At least for right now. Yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, for that reason, I don't like that. Let's not fight it that way. No, not that. Let's not fight it that way. All that's going to happen is I'm going to get knocked off the stairs and take a bunch of fall damage and I'll probably die. So let's not do that. There's a spawner there. That'll be what I'm struggling to get to. Let's get some light on it. You can't get here anyways, a wither skeleton. That thing's dying there. So there's a ladder here. Eat. No! No! I thought I was going to die again because of a ladder. I just couldn't get down the ladder. This is really bad, yeah. I gotta go back down. That's gonna kill. Yep. Okay. I'm just throwing now. Just throwing. Ruined it. All that effort in previous days just to go and screw it all up in the last area. In fact, this fire there makes me think that probably stuff fell into it. Okay, this is a teleport. Okay, I thought this would be it. Apparently not. I got the arrow knocked me onto it. There's nothing I could have done about that. I think there's void beneath us. Oh yeah, there absolutely is. Okay, well I'm going to ignore it then. I should be careful punch bows. If I get knocked into the void, that's probably going to make it so I can't get this completed. I got to be careful here. Aim's terrible. How many arrows I got left? I can't tell. Some amount, 6. Is that guy, like, just immune to arrows? Because I've shot him that many times. I also missed a bunch, too. Look at that. Oh, boy. I don't think I have enough arrows to get this done now. I have 9. So I'm probably going to have to go back to base. Is that the wall right there? Oh, it is. Forget the chest. I'm not even that bothered about it. I got the wall. That's the main thing. Okay, that's the last wall then. Just got to get to safety. They couldn't resist giving us one little corridor to go down before the end. I'm really disappointed at myself right now that I died twice. I didn't need to die in either case. Really kind of frustrated me. I can't lie. I don't like dying in these maps because I know better. And in both of those occasions, I knew a lot better than to just go throwing myself into things like that. It's like I got to the last area and just all sense just went out of the window. I've ended up getting myself killed in a corridor unnecessarily when it was all blocked off and the spawners were gone, and then I just threw myself down trying to get away and don't even have featherfall boots or anything. It was needless, and that's kind of annoyed me, I can't lie. I'd done so well to get to this point and only have died once, which I thought was kind of BS because a creeper fell on me. To then go and screw it up like that at the end is... yeah, I'm not happy. But it is what it is, I guess. %, if I paid more attention. Oh, there was lore I didn't even read. We'll read that when we get back. I'll read through all the text messages and that as well that we've been given. Yeah. I'm also not in that good a gear either. Alright, what does the lore book say? I haven't been honest. I'm sorry. I want to correct that now. Now you're facing your final challenge in a place where reality gives way to unending shadow. I suppose I could have picked a better time. Before, I've referred to a nameless wizard who stood against the Cinderfang cult as they swept through Miriel. That wizard was me. Yes, I'm the one for whom you've been retrieving these magical cores all along. Me. I was worried that you wouldn't trust me if I told you, but this seems to have had the opposite effect. I would change it now if I could, but if I cross my own time stream to leave new notes, things could end poorly. Since the Whispering Underpass, I've felt that you were uneasy towards me. Doubts planted in your mind by the entity there, no question. But that's one thing. What makes it worse is that there is a grain of truth there. The leader of the Cinderfang cult was my apprentice, Raz. Before he changed, I taught him everything. He became my friend, and I let him in to close secrets I should have guarded. Before, I've tried various methods of changing events 300 years from now. People have died in these attempts, and for that I feel more guilt than I can say. But no one has made it as far as you. If you're reading this, you stand at the precipice of victory, staring at the power of triumph and the jaws of defeat. This is the end game. Forget any outside influences. All that matters is that you get that core. To ransom the future, you must conquer the present. Cast aside doubt, cast aside everything. Everything but your mission. I'll see you on the other side of victory. This hits different, reading this after the fact. I was clearly supposed to do this the other way around. What did it say in here? Oh, okay. He's just doing his whole villain monologue thing. Okay. I thought there was going to be something a bit more than that, but to celebrate the fact that I did it. Oh, man, I'm still really bothered by the fact that I died twice. I'm gonna take some time getting over that. It irks me in this game because I know the mechanics of it so well, and I know better. That's what kind of bothers me. Oh, no room left in there. That is true. I'm gonna drop some stuff off, and we're gonna jump over into probably spectator mode while I talk about the map, because it is finished now. That's the last wall. There's no other objectives or anything left to get, so I didn't bother looting the last area. There was nothing that I really wanted from there, to be honest. And I do have a few things to say with regards to this. Gravel. Is that the first piece of gravel I've ever got? I must have put it in here. Maybe it is the first piece of gravel I've ever been given. Is that it? Yeah, I don't think I've ever got any flint either. 2 wither skeleton skulls. More coal. So, I want to start with... I want to start with the good of this map. Game mode, spectator. I want to start with the good of this map. I think it is reasonably well designed, especially for a first map someone made. The structure is there. I liked the intersection idea. It was good to return to a classic. The gameplay was not overcomplicated, which can be good and can be bad. It felt balanced, I guess. I wouldn't say that anywhere felt like particularly hard or really difficult to do, which is a good thing. It had a story, and clearly there was effort put into the sort of story part to it. I was thinking that, Vid. I think this is a great map for someone who's like new to the genre and wants to sort of learn CTM maps, especially like custom mob encounters and things like that. I think this is great for that. I think if you're looking for a difficult challenge, this isn't it. I could have quite easily gotten through this map with 0 deaths if I didn't get dive bombed and then didn't throw the last dungeon. I would have gotten through this without dying at all. I know for a fact if I did this again, I played this map again, I could probably get through it without dying at all. So I didn't do any grinding. I didn't need to do any grinding, really. I mean, I bred the cows a little bit, but other than that, I didn't do anything. I think if you're looking for a lengthy CTM map, this is probably not going to be it. I think it's quite a short jaunt. I mean, I've done it over several days because I'm streaming, but you know, you could probably knock this out in 2 or 3 days if you were, you know, just playing and doing nothing else. You could probably do this quite easily. They've clearly got a knack for it, you know, of making something fun. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed playing it. So, you know, that's positive points, right? There's not a lot of... I mean, the only custom things to talk about are the story, which we've already kind of addressed. I thought it was decent. It was nothing extraordinary, but it was decent and it served the plot well, which is something new. I haven't really seen story delivered in text and stuff like that, really, which was cool. And the custom mobs were pretty good. They made sense in relation to the areas that they were in. But I also have a lot equally to say to critique this. While the balance was there, and, you know, no areas felt over or underpowered, I did feel extremely deprived of the ability to make good equipment. We got an enchanting table that I barely ever used. An anvil I think I used once. We never got any nether wart for this. We never got any nether wart to use those. Crazy that the final castle is like literally right next to the starting area. That's kind of crazy. Ooh, I wonder what this is. This must be like parts. You could always tell based on what a map maker's doing by what's on the bedrock roof. Yeah, this must be like parts of the castle. That's parts of the bridge, I think. So yeah, I didn't personally think that. Oh yeah, there's lots of like random. There's lots of like random bits of corridors and wall designs and stuff. You can see that they were kind of playing around with things here. The trees. This looks like it was this is like a starting area that never actually got used. This is the starting area that we started in, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I took all the glowstone out of it. So they originally had a different one for it. That's probably why the mob spawns were so low, is because mobs could spawn up here on the top of the world. I did feel that a lot of the areas, pretty much all the areas, kind of followed the same theme, which was a sort of lengthy cave with some bridges to walk along, and the wall was at the end of it. And I do think it got a little repetitive. And I think that some of the areas could have been explored in slightly different ways. We got a little bit of that with the castles, but I would have liked more of that, you know, in different ideas than just like caves with bridges on them. It would have been interesting, for example, to have had maybe some open areas, perhaps, or more buildings and stuff to assault, rather than just a predefined, pretty linear path. But again, I think that does lend itself well for beginners. You know, you would have no difficulty in knowing where to go, for example. You know, it was all pretty well laid out. I'm not going to critique like someone's building skills and stuff like that, because it's not really relevant for a CTM map. You know, some people will have more experience with building certain structures like castles and that kind of stuff. It's, you know, less what it looks like and more, does this serve well as a dungeon? And I think they did. I'm not a big fan personally of having like ladders and then spawners and stuff at the top of ladders, because it just makes the gameplay not that fun, I don't think. You know, you kind of want an area where someone can get on the same level and then start fighting. That's why I took the approach I did with the final castle, going on the outside rather than going on the inside. It got more difficult. The gear progression was good, but I do feel like I got decent gear really late in the day for a 16 wall map. I was still using stone equipment in Intersection 5. I will praise the fact they put such a lot of effort into making custom items and custom armor and things. I think these villagers were a nice touch if you were playing multiplayer or you wanted to use them, but honestly, I didn't find a reason to use them, really. But yeah, fun little jaunt through a CTM again. If I was to give this map a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it like a solid 7. I think it's a 7 out of 10. I think for this to take the next step, there would need to be some variation in the areas. And I'm still a little confused as to why we got potion brewing stands when we never got nether warts. We never got bookshelves for the enchanting table. You know, we didn't get those kind of... I guess that's probably what they wanted you to do, was trade stuff with the villagers. I am kind of curious. Now I'm in creative, or I can go in creative. Let me grab like emeralds, and I'm kind of curious. If I traded with this guy and I put in the amount of effort necessary to unlock his next tier. Would he unlock anything? This is some serious grinding right here, if you were going to do this. Alright, let's see if he'll actually unlock anything. No. No. So, yeah, the best you could get is chainmail. Nope. Nothing. Nothing new. So I never used potions. I know there was a couple in the final area that I didn't pick up. But that's all the potions we got in the entire map. Which was not very many. And in fact, we only got 2 speed 2 potions. We didn't get fire resistance. We didn't get any strength. We did get some instant health, I guess, but not very often. So yeah, getting some nether wart to make some of my own potions would have been nice. I understand that they would have been concerned about like fire resistance. But even still, like, I never encountered a magma cube. I never encountered slimes anywhere. So I never got any slime or magma cream. So it would have been nice to have been able to brew my own strength and speed and stuff. I didn't really need it. I couldn't even brew, like, regen potions or instant health or anything. I'm guessing these command blocks, I don't know what any of this is. So there must be some sort of like positional based thing going on here. I don't really know how these things work. Yeah. But I enjoyed the map. It was worth playing, and I do think I would play another map by the map maker again, because I think they've got a good start here for their first map. I remember the first map I did, you know, and how that kind of progressed from there. I imagine it'll be the same sort of thing. They'll have learned a lot from this and got a lot of valuable feedback to take into their next map. But yeah, I think there was issues here with not giving us any nether wart or anything, and never getting any reeds or anything like that. But at the same time, you know, I didn't feel like I really needed that. Like I say, I could have gotten books if I wanted to. I would have had to have fished for it and spent hours and hours and hours doing so. I could have done it that way. I wanted to check this, yeah. There was never any bookshelves here. Oh, yeah? Where did you see that? Like on a YouTube video or something? Or whatever. Yeah, there was no nether wart ever. You know, it could have been something that you could have found in that area on Minecraft maps. It could have been something you found in Intersection 4. I think it would have been fine to have found it there. Like, in this area, for example, you know, maybe near the end of this area, just before you got to intersection 5. Yes, I do know there is a sequel to it. They've put together 3 maps, I believe. 3 full ones, anyway. They may have worked on collaborative projects, too. I wasn't sure, though. You know, there could have been, like, a little room here or something behind the wall. That's still here, because it can't land. You know, there could have been a little room here with some nether wart in or something, so you could have made some potions for the last couple areas here. You know, speed and strength. Even if you didn't want us to have fire resistance, I get that, because obviously this area had a lot of fire-themed enemies to it. But even still, you know, we could have had those at least. But like I say, not going to be overly critical. It was their first map, and ultimately, when you play a video game or you play a Minecraft map or you know, whatever, I have to ask myself, did I have fun playing it? And I did. My biggest pieces of feedback would be area variation. Like the theming of areas was really good. There was a lot of different areas, and every area felt unique. You know, we kind of had this flower-themed area. We had quarries. We had a bog. Like the theming was really on point. The creation lake was really well done. So I liked the theming and the way things worked, but a little bit of variation in how you assaulted the dungeons and stuff. Like this was really good. This little castle here, I would have liked to have seen more of this type of thing instead of just the sort of corridor style design. I get that for the first few dungeons while you're getting them up and going, but you know, beyond that, it would have been nice to have had a bit more variety. I think they were onto something. Yeah, I mean, those kind of corridory type places would have been really interesting if they were bigger and would have felt more open. And I think that's the thing, because the map is so condensed, it's really hard to give out progression and rewards, because it's not, even though it's a 16 wall CTM, it's not that big. You know, that's the thing. A bigger map with bigger areas probably could have done more with the progression in that way. Sometimes I only had to walk a little bit and I could see where the wall was from the entrance, more or less. What is that down there? Oh, that's the lime. Yeah, this was that void area. But like I say, I'm not going to be overly critical, which probably sounds like I've been really overly critical. I think there's a lot of great things here, but it's like a proof of concept, I think. You know, it's like playing a tech demo a little bit. It's like playing a tech demo for something, and I think there's a good concept. But like I say, I would have liked to have played in this world more. I wanted to like build a base and whatnot in this area, and I just never found a reason to do it. We were progressing through the map that fast. I do like CTM sometimes, that it's like an odyssey you go on a little bit, and you're going to be there a while, fighting your way through areas. It gives you a reason to kind of like build a base and, you know, improve your gear and so on. I haven't played a lot of CTMs over the years, but like I did that a little bit in Chrono Trials, for example. When we did that, I remember it getting to the monument, and I spent a few times like building a storage room and stuff at the base and whatnot. What the heck is this? It's got like granite all over it. There's like a corridor here. I'm not sure this ever got used. I don't recall an area with anything like this in it. I'm guessing that they were doing something with a world edit brush here, and it ended up getting that I noticed this corner is a little bit missing here. But yeah, worth the time. Enjoyable to play. I will be playing the next map here. Lapis Lazuli ore's in here, but yet we never got any lapis ore. That's interesting. Edge of the Void. I don't think we ever got that either. So there's items in here that were never actually in the map. This is like their debug area. This is all of the spawners and that they were making, custom spawners. These are the books and things. I guess these are like block palettes, command blocks. That was for the Hanging Gardens. Move buffed blaze to red later. Avanon. Yeah, it's handy that you got like references here, and then you've got like, I'm guessing this is the block palettes used for each area. Or maybe this is like, no, it can't be loot, I don't think. I don't know, has I ever got a shovel like that? Or maybe they use these as stuff to randomize what was in the chests. Possibly. Cinderfang stuff. Cliff Troll, Witch with high HP. Skeleton on Blaze, yeah, is what that stands for. Creeper spawn eggs. Possibly. I wonder why this starting area never got used. Very strange. Yeah, there's some big honeypots here. It made me realize, looking at this, just how big of honeypots I'm going to need to have to build in Building with Fret to get the mob spawning off. This honeypot, by the way, it won't work because mobs don't spawn on bedrock. I'm not really sure why that's floating there. Like, yeah, it will work in this. Yeah, like this won't work because it's bedrock. I'd say probably what this person really needed was, and it's difficult when it's your first map, but it probably needed someone to like go through and beta test it and just give this kind of feedback. Like this kind of stuff with the honeypots and that could have been a message, you know, just a quick fix, couple of minutes, and you know it would have been fine. The nether wart could have been mentioned and so on without even like massively redoing the map or anything. It's just small things that could have been added in a couple of minutes that would have really added a little bit to this. But like I say, I'm not going to be overly critical because they're onto something here, and they do have a talent for it. You know, you check out the first game by a studio, it's often not the best, and you know they progress and things get better. And I could definitely see there being progression here. I'm not quite sure how a pig ended up in this area, to be honest. How on earth did a pig end up there? Yeah, Yeah, especially in a map that like focused so much on magic in the story. I would have thought there would have been something related to enchantments and potions that could have tied into the story quite well. Um, but yeah, I'm quite happy to say that this is a 7 out of 10, and you know, with a few tweaks, a few small tweaks here and there, it could have easily probably been an 8 out of 10. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there could have been an area for like Serana's tower or Serana's academy or whatever, the kind of place that you could go, and there would have maybe been useful things there in one of the intersections. You know, an enchanting table that was powerful, or you know, decently enchanted gear, or potion making stuff, that kind of thing. It could have really tied in well, I think, to the story, even if it had been a later area. I know it's a tricky thing with trying to balance mobs and that. Um, and obviously, probably adding the potions in meant that even in the later areas, you would have probably had to made them more difficult. Yeah, that would have been kind of cool. Like if you could have tied it maybe to some sort of bonus monument or something like that. Um, somewhere where if you did like these side rewards, you could have gotten useful things for potions and enchanting if you wanted them. I don't know what it would have been. Maybe it would have been to locate a particular like other objective other than the wool, or maybe it would have been complete a certain task of destroying a certain number of enemies or something like that. I'm sure there's lots of things you could have done um, just off the top of my head, and could have made it interesting and different. But like I say, I'm not gonna harp too much on that, because first map, trying to get experience. Um, what is this? I'm seeing new things. Oh, that we saw that before, I think. Yes. But yeah, fun play. Didn't take too long to do. I would recommend this to other people. I think it's worth checking out. You mean the final castle? I don't think so. Nope. Nothing. We explored all of it, even on the outside. I wonder where those gas were spawning in at. Oh, they were on top of these here. There's a spawner there too. That was obviously to distract you while you were looking at that chest. Yeah. This area here could have probably used a hunting pot, because there was a lot of natural spawns in that area, and there really didn't need to be honest. You know, you could have had something in the back here that would have done for both of these. Although practically nothing spawned here because of lava everywhere. Other than spawners, you didn't run into much here. There wasn't much room for stuff to spawn. I think now as well, there's with 114 and newer, there was a lot of opportunity to like do custom village trades, possibly. They kind of did that a little bit with those villagers, but it would have been nice, for example, to have had a trade for arrows. That would have been a really worthwhile trade with a Fletcher maybe or something like that. We only ever saw one infinity bow in the map. That was interesting. There was that one infinity bow, and if you lost that or you died with it, I don't think you could ever get infinity again because the enchanting table doesn't have levels high enough to get infinity. So that would have been it. That would have been the only infinity bow you would have ever gotten. And there was no feathers anywhere in the map from any enemies or from chickens. So they didn't use bookshelves anywhere either. Nope, no bookshelves. So yeah, you would have been completely out of luck on certain enchantments. So you would have had to have grinded for arrows. I got lucky that I managed to just about get enough arrows to go through the whole map, but I was running out by the end. I had to start using the poisoned arrows and stuff I'd picked up. So some renewable way of getting arrows would have been nice, whether it be a custom enemy that drops more, or chickens you could farm, or just something, because it is a really useful tool to have, or the ability to get more infinity. They did use a variety of mobs. Some mobs only appeared once, though, like cave spiders and that only appeared once. Magma cubes and slimes didn't appear at all. A lot of the newer enemies that are in this, the raid enemies, did not appear at all either. The Vindicator and so on, they didn't use those. That might have been a bit beyond the scope of difficulty for what they were hoping for. I would expect so, yeah. It definitely feels like some of the new features in that came in later. You could tell like there's no grindstone or anything really used, and like the villages are here, but it feels like they were added probably right at the end. But there is aquatic update stuff. So it's interesting how like this area, even though there's water, there isn't like anything growing in it. So I bet this was 113 when they started to make this. And then by the time you get to Creation Lake, there is stuff underwater. So I bet that's probably when the update came out. Like here doesn't have anything either. But if you progress and you go through here and you get to the Creation Lake area, well, that wouldn't make sense, right? Wait, they put sea pickles in, and like the odd piece of seagrass, but they didn't have like kelp or anything growing in here. Interesting. Yeah, that's another thing too. With the aquatic update, there could have been an underwater area. Maybe, yeah. But again, it's kind of nitpicky type stuff. I'm not going to be too concerned about that and what it looks like. It's whether or not the gameplay is fun. And I think it is. And with a few tweaks to the progression here and there, I think it could have been really, really good. Yeah, I wonder if they're new to the game, or were at the time they made this map. Possibly. Yeah, I'm not going to judge it overly harshly because it's a really, really good first go at it. They made a map that's bug-free, functional, playable, and enjoyable, and you know that's pretty hard to do in your first go. So I remember my first version of Jungle Terror, which was really not very good. That's why I ended up remaking it at a certain point. And again, I've thought about remaking it since. I've thought about doing a Jungle Terror 3 or whatever. But yeah, I think I've said everything I want to say about this map now. I enjoyed it. Good fun to play it. Was a nice little side quest for us to do to kind of for a change of pace. I'm still kind of working on those trees, and it's just a lot of like learning the techniques for building trees, for building with fret in a super flat creative. So I don't want it to be just that all the time while I'm streaming. I'd prefer to do something more interesting than that, but we still kind of got a little bit of Minecraft from it using this instead. Yeah, and it kind of has ignited that interest for me in making my own map. Again, it's probably not a good thing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of that. That is the end of that. What did you think, Fit? What are your final closing thoughts here? How many streams did we do with this? 6? Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty balanced for multiplayer as well with the villager trades and that too. Yeah, you could definitely do that map collaboratively. Um, yeah. So that means moving forward here, I'm gonna need to think about what we're gonna do next. Oh man, I know the next main thing we're gonna do. But in the short term here, while I sort things out, Like I say, I'm working on building with threat stuff, but it's a lot of just experimenting, learning, and designing to get these trees made for that custom forest. Um, I've probably got about half the trees done that I want to use. I just decided to go ahead and try and work on it by myself and see if I could get the designs done, and then we can knock it out fairly quickly, hopefully. There's not a lot of not a lot of things I could say about it. I moved to creative mode to do it because it was becoming really difficult to do in survival, because I can't fly around the tree to make sure it looks good from every angle and so on. So, but yeah, I am working on that still, just by myself a little bit. Outside of that, um, I think what I'm gonna do soon, next couple days, is I'm gonna start putting out information regarding the 10-year anniversary celebration stuff. And Claire Obscure is going to form part of that. I've been thinking about what I wanted to do for it, and that seems like it's probably going to fit in well. I also looked at, if we're going to be using the PS5, what other stuff we might potentially want for it. How much is so Silent Hill F at the moment is brand new from Amazon, is 60. What about Silent Hill 2? That's kind of hovering 40, £50 for at the moment, which is a bit high for what I would probably be prepared to pay at the moment. But there are other things that I'd be interested in. Like I say, it's going to be kind of a test bench for us doing this, and we'll see how well it performs, and if it performs well, then we'll probably use it as a template for future games and things. I'll be back in a second. I need to use the restroom. Alrighty, I'm back. For now. For a few moments at least. Yes, so where was I? I can talk to you properly now. Thank you, Fit. I've said before the PS5 is going to be like a template. Maybe I'm going to pivot to using that. So with regards to the anniversary stuff, even though it's like 10.5 years now, I do think I want to do it sometime in May. I can't keep putting it off any longer, to be honest. I want to move on from this. And, you know, I did all the work for it a while ago. And it's just been finding the right moment in which to do it. And I think in the next week or two, I think is going to be the moment, to be honest. We're not going to get any better timing, really, than now. Yeah, I think some of it was also I was looking for a game that I wanted to do as part of it, and I think we found that now with Clair Obscur, and the pivot to the PS5 might be the answer that I've been looking for. I'd not even really given it much thought until, like I say, I just ended up looking at it. Almost by accident, and seeing Clair Obscur on sale. I'm not going to commit to anything beyond Clair Obscur and finishing off the things that I've started and not finished, like Theme Park Roller Coaster and such. We'll see about getting those done. There is going to be more retro stuff, for sure. I do want to do a lot more of that. With the GameCube, I did do a little more research into that. They do eventually ship, but it could be months before my flippy drive arrives. A lot of people have been waiting 6 months plus before it finally dispatches. What ends up happening is they're taking in orders, and then when it reaches a certain threshold, so they can bulk order from the suppliers, it sounds like, to manufacture them, then they're shipped out. So it will eventually arrive, as far as I know. But I don't have a timeline on it. It will not be probably until the late summer, though. So what I'm going to look at in the meantime is what all I can do with the GameCube for right now. And, you know, hopefully we can get some stuff going with that. We do have the PS2, of course, and the Xbox. They're ready to go, set up. And I am going to try and take a crack at fixing a few other things in the meantime. At the very least, I want to see if I can get the PS3, the Xbox 360, the Wii, and the Wii U sorted out. Because I don't think there's a lot of work to get any of those where I want to get them, to be honest. It's more a case of I might be missing one part, or I just need to do some setup with some of it. Yeah. So I'm going to look into that stuff, see what I can get done while we wait on the GameCube getting done. And if I get extra cash, I will sort out the N64 as well and get the rest of that done. It's been modded now. I just need a better controller for it, the RAM expansion pack for it, and the video cable for it. And then that's that done. It's just like external parts that I need for that now. Yeah. But again, this stuff's expensive. It's expensive and it takes time to sort out. I'm also going to focus on trying to get all the old stuff sold. I've got stuff left over. Some of it needs parts and that. That's kind of where my priority is at, because I want to clear out my office and other areas of the house that I've got stuff stacked up that just needs to be sold. Or in some cases, I've got stuff that just needs to be thrown out. I'm going to go to the tip or to a recycling place or whatever and get rid of a lot of it. It's nothing we care about. It's just stuff that's been left over from things. I'm going to turn the remaining consoles that I've got, the NES and GameCube, the old GameCube, into vouchers, and then I can use that for N64 parts, or, you know, we could get something else out of it down the road. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to do a bit of a celebration type thing. We've not done one in a long time. And Streamer Day 4K, of course, is in the middle of SPAD this year, so yes. I'm not really going to be able to do much with that, I don't think. Anyway, I know it's been a short one today, but I've finished the map now, obviously, and we've talked about it, and I've kind of talked about where things are at. I'm probably just going to leave it as a short stream today, and we'll be back tomorrow with something different. Yeah. Before I leave, is this what you sent me? I've seen some of it. I read through some of what you sent me. I haven't done the last videos yet. This? What is this? I've not seen this, I don't think. What is it? Oh, it's a game within a game? What is it? Is it like a... I mean, I know it's a custom map, but... Is there an objective to it? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was a CTM or... Interesting. What version is it for? Oh, it's a mod pack as well. Huh. It looks fairly new. Very cool looking. I've never seen it before, though, until now. I wonder if there's been any updates on that M Station mod. Right. I getcha. Weaker elytra. Interesting. Have to keep an eye on that. Well, I'm gonna wrap up for now. Like I say, I'll be back tomorrow with something. I appreciate you dropping by as always, Fit. Hopefully you enjoyed that CTM map, and hopefully you're looking forward to what's next. All right. Should be good. I think we're gonna have a good few months over the summer. What is it with me and playing like new releases over the summer? I did Horizon, didn't I, a few years ago over the summer? Forbidden West, that is. And yeah, we might do a few other things too. Yes, it is. I still have that spreadsheet, man. I still have that. Uh, and it's still mostly unfinished. What about the original one? How am I doing on the original one now? Because there's multiple like different pages and stuff to it. Let me see. Selections. Single player. Legacy 2016. So I made this in 2016. 10 years ago. Skyrim, done. Undertale, done. Portal 2, done. Mario RPG, not done. SevTech, played. Fallout 4, not done. Duke Nukem, not done. Shell Shock Live, that's been ongoing for 10 years. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, my goodness me, that is an old project. Probably when I get the old PC going, I'll do something with that. Everlasting Summer, rejected. Risk of Rain, probably never going to go back to that. Carmageddon, rejected. Resident Evil 1 on the PS1, if you remember that, rejected. Horizon Zero Dawn, done. Spyro Reignited, done. Red Dead 2, still got to play. Super Mario Galaxy, still got to play. Final Fantasy 6, done. There's a lot of scenarios for Roller Coaster Tycoon. Mad Max, done. Planet Coaster, not finished. City Skylines, never played. Half-Life done. Black Mesa done. Half-Life 2 done. Sonic 1 and 2. Need to get that for the PS3, really. Final Fantasy 6 done. I'm repeating myself. Zelda Twilight Princess. Stardew Valley done. Fret's Journey done. Metroid. All the Metroid games done. Doom Block not finished. Subnautica. Abzu done. Baba Is You, we played that. Hollow Knight, still not done that yet. Fez, not done that yet either. That's not on this list, no. Doom Eternal, done. Doom 64, I might actually be able to do that when the N64 is fixed. First Tree, done. Horizon 2, done. Enderall, Forgotten Stories, not done. And Metroid Dread. All I'm missing, I think, for Metroid is Prime 2, and then obviously I can't do Prime 4, but yeah, I'm getting there for that. Unfinished games. Spookaday Spectacular. Long plays. New Game Plus stuff. That might be a retro PC thing. Might check it out at some point. That stuff probably falls into that category. I am going to look to see if I can do something with setting up the retro PC. Some of the retro computers. I've got plenty of things on my unfinished projects. I came really close recently. I thought about starting Fallout 4. I thought about doing that. But then I saw Claire Obscura, so I was like, I want to get this instead. Someday I will finish Christmas 2015's games. Someday. I'll get there. That's the only one left now. I need DLC and stuff for it. I think it'll run okay on my computer. I think. Not 100% sure, though. Anyway, I'm really going to go now. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. One of these days. All right. Well, take care. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye now.